Think about the last time you ate a sandwich. The moment you chew and swallow, that bite disappears from your awareness. But inside, it's just starting a highly coordinated journey. It enters your digestive system, which is essentially one long continuous tube running completely through your body, all the way from your mouth down to your anus. There is a physical problem your body has to solve here. A piece of bread or a slice of turkey is far too large and structurally complex for your microscopic cells to actually use. To extract energy from it, your system has to systematically tear down that foreign matter into its smallest chemical building blocks. Digestion is a highly specialized extraction operation. It harvests raw materials from the outside world to fuel everything happening inside you. The breakdown starts the second food hits your mouth. Your teeth physically grind the solid pieces, breaking them apart to increase their exposed surface area. At the exact same time, your saliva introduces enzymes. Salivary amylase begins attacking complex carbohydrates, while lingual lipase starts dismantling fats. By combining physical crushing with these chemical sparks, your mouth transforms that rough, solid bite into a soft, flexible mass called a bolus. Once you swallow, that bolus enters the esophagus, a muscular tube leading directly down to your stomach. It doesn't just fall due to gravity. A process called peristalsis takes over. Rings of smooth muscle perform a rhythmic sequence of involuntary contractions, actively squeezing the food downward. The mouth and esophagus act as the initial loading and transport mechanisms, physically prepping the food before it drops into the intense chemical vats below. The bolus arrives in the stomach, a highly muscular mixing chamber that immediately bathes the food in a highly corrosive hydrochloric acid bath. This illustration shows the multi-layered wall of the stomach. Notice the thick muscularis and submucosa layers, which allow the organ to violently churn its contents without digesting itself. This diagram highlights the gastric pits lining the stomach wall. Specific cells here, the parietal and chief cells, produce the acid and an enzyme called pepsin, which requires an extremely acidic environment to function. Pepsin has a very specific job. It seeks out complex protein chains and slices their chemical bonds, breaking them down into much smaller peptide fragments. Through the relentless physical churning and this aggressive enzymatic breakdown, the solid bolus dissolves into a thick, soupy liquid known as chyme. The stomach's brutal combination of acid and enzymes breaks the structural bonds of the food, reducing raw solids into a fluid state that is perfectly primed for extraction. That fluid chyme is periodically squeezed into the small intestine. This is the primary absorption site, where 90% of all nutrient extraction takes place. To finish the chemical breakdown, accessory organs step in. The liver produces bile to dissolve resistant fat molecules, while the pancreas secretes buffers and digestive enzymes to finish dismantling carbohydrates and proteins. To capture these freed nutrients, the intestine's inner wall is lined with millions of tiny finger-like projections called villi, drastically multiplying surface area. Each villus is covered in smaller microvilli, forming a brush border that physically catches nutrient molecules. Once caught against the cellular membrane, these nutrients are pulled directly through the lining and into your blood capillaries and lymphatic system. This is the exact moment where foreign matter officially crosses the biological barrier to become a part of your own internal resources. This illustration shows the large intestine. The unabsorbed chyme travels out of the small intestine and moves up the ascending colon, across the transverse colon, and down to descending colon. This final stretch operates as a strict reclamation center. Its primary job is to absorb vital water, along with key ions and vitamins produced by friendly bacteria living in the gut. As the water is steadily drawn back into your bloodstream, the remaining indigestible material becomes tightly compacted into solid feces. By pulling that moisture back in, the large intestine prevents severe dehydration, ensuring that absolutely nothing of biological value is accidentally discarded. The completely processed, compacted waste is finally eliminated from the body through the anus, bringing the physical journey through the tube to a close. When you look back at that entire chain of events, the mechanical grinding, the acid baths, the microscopic brush borders, it is a massive logistical operation entirely designed around extraction. Your digestive system is a precise, sequential disassembly line. It carefully breaks down the outside world piece by piece,